Genetic screening and MRIs, figuring out what is or isn't covered by insurance can be complicated and very confusing. So here to help us sort all of this out is Andrew Rubin, an expert on the business of healthcare. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
So right off the bat, is everyone covered to get genetic testing for breast and ovarian cancer, especially if there is some history of it in the family?
So this is one of those, everything we talk about, Frederica, is always complicated when we talk about healthcare insurance. But in general, if you have a fully comprehensive insurance plan, and that's one that has a full range of benefits, and you have a history of breast cancer in your family, and there's criteria for what family history means, the BRCA, the BRCA gene test 1 and 2, would be covered. But there are strict rules about family history that you have to meet to have this test covered. And there are a lot of people out there who have what we talked about this with McDonald's in the news the past few weeks ago, these limited medical plans. And those people wouldn't have this test covered. So it really depends on your insurance company.
Okay, and so as we talk about insurance companies, say your insurance company says you can get this genetic testing, then the fear for many insurers or insureds becomes, well, if there's a positive reading and there shows that I have a propensity of getting something, now I'm afraid my insurance is going to drop me. Where are we on that fear?
So that fear, I believe, thankfully, is misplaced today. A few years ago, I wouldn't have been able to say that. There's a federal law that prohibits using genetic testing information to determine whether or not you have a pre-existing condition for purposes of getting insurance. Insurance companies are not allowed to discriminate against you if you have this test positive for these genes or any of these genetic disorders. They can't use it in setting premium rates. They can't use it for determining if you have a pre-existing condition. They can't deny you for insurance company coverage. So that fear is misplaced, yet there's still a lot of women and men who get this test out of pocket. And it's an expensive test.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how expensive?
Well, depending on whether you're getting the full gene sequencing or not, it can be anywhere between $300–400 and $4,000 if you need the full screening panel being done on you. So it's not an insignificant expenditure, particularly if you don't have insurance that covers it.
Okay, and so now the other option that even Applegate was talking about, talked about genetic testing, she talked about mammograms versus MRIs, etc. Mammograms, people don't seem to have that much difficulty in getting their insurance to cover it for the most part. But when it talks about MRIs now and trying to detect breast cancer or other forms of cancer, do you have a difficult time negotiating this with your insurance company?
It's a great question, and I like what Christina's doing with her foundation. Breast MRI is a new technology. Well, MRI's been around, but using MRI for breast screening is relatively new. And insurance companies have very strict criteria of who qualifies for it. So again, if you have a history of breast cancer in your family, you most likely will qualify if your doctor, thinks that you need to have this test, or, density in the breast and things like that. So there are criteria that insurance companies use. That being said, they're still not widely used because of the cost, and you have to meet this standard of what it's used for. So it's just how much your physician can argue that you need it.
Okay, Andrew Rubin, thanks so much. We're learning so much, particularly this month with Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and this just helps us sort out some of those sometimes very complicated details even further. Thanks so much.
You got it. Never easy stuff.